The night was cold, and rain gently tapped against the cracked windshield of a worn-out sedan parked outside a small apartment building. Inside, Mia tightened her coat, adjusting her hair in the faint reflection of the car window. She had been awake since 4 a.m., working double shifts at a diner and rushing home to prepare her daughter, Lily, for school. Tonight, she had one more shift to get through, her new job as a secretary at a luxury corporate office. It was her only hope to climb out of the endless loop of bills and broken promises, but she was already late. When a sleek black car stopped at the curb, she ran toward it, pulling her umbrella close and knocking on the window. "Hi, sorry, I'm late. Thank you for waiting," she said breathlessly as she climbed in, not even looking up. The man behind the wheel glanced at her in surprise. Excuse me," he began, but Mia interrupted. "Traffic's crazy tonight, right? Please, can we hurry to Westbridge Tower?" She sighed and leaned back, exhausted. The man smiled faintly, intrigued by her confusion. "Sure," he said after a moment, curiosity flickering in his eyes. The car rolled smoothly through the rainy street. For the next 20 minutes, Mia nervously checked her phone, muttering about rent, groceries, and daycare bills. The man listened silently, his tailored suit and quiet demeanor hidden behind the modest act of a driver. "You know," she said, unaware of who he really was, "I'm starting a new job today. I just hope my boss isn't one of those rich men who think poor people are lazy. Some of us are just trying to survive, you know," he chuckled softly. "Maybe not all rich men are the same," he said. "Maybe some of them wish they could help more than they do." She turned toward him for the first time, noticing his gentle eyes. "If more of them thought like that, maybe the world wouldn't feel so cold," she said with a tired smile. When they finally reached the building, she fumbled for her wallet. "How much do I owe you?" He shook his head. "No charge. Consider it my good deed for the day." "Oh," she said softly, touched. "Thank you. Really, I'll pay it for—" Mia rushed inside, soaked and nervous, clutching her worn-out purse. The receptionist pointed her to the 24th floor. When the elevator doors opened, she froze. The same man, her Uber driver, stood there in a crisp suit, surrounded by senior staff. Her stomach dropped. "Good morning, everyone," he said warmly. "I'm Ethan Cross, your new CEO." Her heart pounded as he met her eyes and gave a subtle smile. She wanted the floor to swallow her whole. Throughout the day, she tried to stay invisible, hoping he'd forget her mistake. But during lunch, Ethan stopped by her desk. "Mia, can I see you in my office?" She stood trembling, clutching her notepad as he gestured for her to sit. "I owe you an apology," he said sincerely. "I should have told you last night who I was. I just didn't want to embarrass you." Mia blinked, unsure how to respond. "I'm the one who should apologize. I thought you were my Uber driver." He laughed softly. "It's okay. I haven't been mistaken for one before, but it was the best car ride I've had in years." Over the next few weeks, Ethan noticed Mia's quiet resilience. How she skipped lunch to send money to her daughter's daycare. How she stayed late without complaint. How she smiled even when her eyes looked weary. He admired her strength, and something about her humility reminded him of his late mother, who had raised him alone before he inherited his father's company. One evening, Mia received a call that shattered her composure. Lily had fallen ill, and the hospital demanded an immediate deposit she couldn't afford. Desperate, she quietly approached HR to request an advance, but they refused, citing company policy. When Ethan found her crying in the break room, she tried to hide it, mumbling about allergies. But he could see the truth. Without a word, he asked for her daughter's hospital name and left. The next morning, Mia arrived to find an envelope on her desk with her name neatly written. Inside was a note. "Consider this an early bonus. Take care of Lily. E." Alongside was a receipt showing her hospital bill paid in full. Tears blurred her vision as she whispered a prayer of gratitude. When she went to thank him, Ethan simply said, "You told me once that not all rich people understand the struggle. I just wanted to prove you wrong." From that day, a quiet friendship blossomed between them. Ethan would sometimes bring lunch for her, pretending he had accidentally ordered too much. He'd ask about Lily, genuinely interested, and even sent her a small teddy bear from the office mascot. Mia, in return, helped him see the world through simpler eyes, how kindness, not wealth, measured a person's worth. Months passed, and Mia's life began to change. Her confidence grew, and she soon became one of the company's most valued employees. On Christmas Eve, the company hosted a charity dinner. Mia arrived nervously in a borrowed dress, holding a small gift for the event's donation drive. When Ethan took the stage, he announced a new foundation, one dedicated to supporting single mothers in need of childcare, education, and job placement. He looked directly at Mia as he said, "This idea was inspired by someone who reminded me that strength often hides behind quiet smiles." The audience applauded, but Mia could barely hold back tears. After the event, Ethan approached her by the large Christmas tree, its lights shimmering between them. "You once said you'd pay it forward," he said softly. "You already have, more than you know." She smiled, her eyes glistening. "You didn't just help me, Ethan. You changed my belief that kindness was a thing of the past." He hesitated, then said, "Maybe kindness was just waiting for the right people to remind us of it." Years later, the foundation grew into a global initiative helping thousands of single mothers. Mia became its director, her story becoming a beacon of hope for others who thought they'd never get a second chance. She often told new applicants, "Sometimes life sends you angels disguised as strangers. Never underestimate the power of one small act of compassion. It can change everything." And in the quiet corners of her office, there still sat a small teddy bear, a reminder of the night she mistook her boss for an Uber driver, and in doing so, discovered that the richest hearts are not measured in money, but in how much love they give away. Moral: true kindness doesn't come from wealth or status, it comes from empathy. When we choose to see people not by where they are, but by what they're going through, we create a world where compassion becomes the greatest success of all.